Hi everybody, today we're going to be talking about the anatomy and blood flow of the heart. And although this is something that you're probably going to learn in your anatomy courses, it's still very important as nurses or even in the medical field period to know how the heart works, where the blood goes, and the different parts of the heart. So let's get started with some anatomy. So I just wanted to provide you with a list. This is not side specific because you do have to be left and right specific when talking about the heart. This is just a general overview so you can see kind of the spelling of what I'm going to be talking about. So this is a picture of the heart, and I want you to take note that this is the right side and this is the left side. It's flip-flops when you're looking at it, so make sure that you get that orientation down. So we're going to start over here, and this is the superior vena cava. Down here is the inferior vena cava. So this is the superior, and this is the inferior vena cava. Right here, you have your right atrium. This white thing is your tricuspid valve, tri meaning 3. The tricuspid valve moves down into the right ventricle, and then you have this valve, which is the pulmonary valve, and then this right here is the pulmonary artery. And then over here you have the left pulmonary veins, and over here you have the right pulmonary veins. And then right here you have your aortic arch. And then this first branch off is the brachiocephalic trunk. This middle one is the left common carotid artery. And this last one is the left subclavian carotid artery. The best way for me to remember these three is that they are in alphabetical order. So B for brachiocephalic, C for common carotid, and S for subclavian. Make sure you have left for these two. Next, we have our left atrium. This white structure over here is the mitral or bicuspid valve, bi for 2. That moves down into the left ventricle. We have this structure right here, that is the aortic valve. And then here we have our aortic arch. Now for blood flow of the heart, there are 2 pathways of blood flow, and I'm going to go through both of them. So for our first pathway, blood is going to come in either from the superior vena cava or the inferior vena cava, and is going to dump into the right atrium. And from the right atrium is going to go into our tricuspid valve, which then dumps into our right ventricle. And then the blood is going to turn and go up the pulmonary valve, and then it is going to go into the pulmonary artery and out. So once again, blood goes in through the superior vena cava or inferior vena cava, dumps into the right atrium, goes through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, it goes into the pulmonary valve, and then out through the pulmonary artery. So that is one way of blood flow through the heart. Our second pathway of blood flow starts with the pulmonary veins. So blood will come in through here, and then it will go into the left atrium. From the left atrium, it'll go into our mitral or bicuspid valve, and then it'll go into our left ventricle. From our left ventricle, it'll go into our aortic valve, and it'll sneak behind here and go into our aortic arch, which then will come off of the brachiocephalic, left common carotid, and left subclavian. So once again, we have blood coming in through the pulmonary veins, going into the left atrium, down through the mitral or bicuspid valve, into the left ventricle, up through the aortic valve, into the aortic arch, which will then either go through the brachiocephalic trunk, left common carotid artery, or left subclavian artery. Alright, so that is a quick overview of the anatomy of the heart and blood flow of the heart. Thanks guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.